Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Maula Fatimah Azzahra with the student number of 23020400094, and today, to fulfill my assignment on speech listening class 407, today I will share my understanding of the topic lectures I take yesterday, that is the art of marketing in global culture. So the video show us how the connections between globalizations and how it is affecting our marketing cultures right now. Very beginning, the speaker begins to present us some interesting ideas on how the world is becoming more connected and becoming more closer. And later, he showed us that the impact of the connections is how marketers or businessmen trying to sell us a product globally. So, the speaker defines globalizations as the idea as international travel and communications expand, the world's becoming more homogeneous. So, what is homogeneous itself? Homogenization is when one thing or one subject is becoming more similar towards the environment they live in. In easier understanding, it means that the different cultures are slowly becoming more similar in how the way we live, what kind of product we consume, how we seeing something on the same topic like on fashion, on sports, is starting to becoming more similar. And the speakers presented us some examples like cyber cafes, cities of popular band, fashion trend, Google, cell phones, models and sports icon and whoever we are looking up to in the trends right now, right? So he says, as we travel around the world, we've become accustomed to seeing the familiar. And I think that's something many of us can relate to. Alright, so after some introductions on what is globalization itself and the impact on like in short general way, the speaker begins to tell us what is actually the main reason of globalizations happening around the world. Okay, so the first main reason he recalls is air travels, because air travels is like the main key factors that brings people closer and more connected together. So because it allows people to move faster across the world, right? For businesses, for pleasures, yeah, you name it, there are many purposes of people doing air travels. These interactions between one cultures moving to another help to spread their cultures and share some values or attitudes from their cultures, right? The second reason is media and entertainment industry. So, as he says, they are based on common human experience. They evoke feelings and emotion we all share. So, in easier understanding, TV shows, films, documentaries, music, those kind of things we consume now is often made from cultures that is generally understood by a global audience. Third reason is advertising. As you can see, the platform we use right now, YouTube, is full of advertisement, right? In the TV, magazine, even in our daily life without technologies, we also presented by many advertising like smoking, cigarettes advertisement and else. It often pops up in the store, right? Because it influences people's choices quickly and easily and effectively. And the last main causes of globalization is politics and international cooperations. The speaker mentions that European unions as an examples of countries that are coming together despite all those culture differences, right? Alright, so after knowing what globalization is and what is the key factors on globalizations, the speakers began to introduce what is the implications or the impact on international global markets. We need to know that the importance of marketing a product is to know what the audience needs. So just because something works on one country doesn't mean it will work in another. It means that marketers or businessmen need to know what the audience values from their cultures. They need to analyze more on their customers' behaviors. So, in high context cultures like Asian and Hispanic cultures, Communications relies heavily on non-verbal clues and context, while in low-context cultures like the US cultures, communications relies heavily on um, more verbal clues. They tend to use communication that are more explicit and direct. For example, the speakers mentions about an advertisement on promoting luxury car. In Asian and Hispanic, where high context cultures involve, the advertisement itself might appeal less verbal or less containing a dialogue, and more like showing us how the scenery is impressive, the sophisticated judgery, and then a stirring music that draws us together without involving many verbal text like that. But in the US, where it is more low context cultures, the communications between audience and marketers will be more direct. So the advertisement itself will containing more text on explaining what is the car's features and the technology through a spoken word. So the most important thing is to know your market's behavior and your target audience. So after learning the impacts of globalizations in a global market, the speaker eventually tells us more awareness on how the companies should behave towards their customers to market a products. So there are some companies that failing on international market just because they didn't understand or didn't value the customers' culture's behavior. The first example is an instant coffee brand. They try to sell instant coffee in French, where French people value coffee more than just a drink. They see it as like a ritual on their daily life. They prepare the coffee itself, they brew it themselves, so they didn't know the cultures of instant coffee. Coffee put it in a can. They didn't familiar with that. So eventually the advertisement or the marketings of instant coffee in French is failing because it didn't fit to their cultures. The second example is Campbell Soup. They spent about $30,000 to market the Campbell Soup itself in the Europe, while the British cultures was not familiar with condensed soup itself. It's not common on their daily life to consume um, canned soup, right? They are familiar with soup that is freshly made, freshly cooked by themselves, from preparing the ingredients to preparing the soup in the bowl like that. These mistakes show us how it is dangerous to assume that just because two countries share a same cultures or same heritage, same language, that they will respond the same way on like some products. Important to know your audience behaviors, how they value their daily products that you want to sold. In conclusions, we have talked about the globalization itself, the main reason or key factors of globalizations, and how the impacts of globalizations in global market, right? We even show you some mistakes those companies who is failing to knowing their target audience, right? So these lectures help me to understand that even when globalizations makes us more connected, where society becoming more homogeneous, but successful global marketing still requires like a deep research or a deep analyze on the audience, what the most valued on their cultures, to involve how their communication styles is like, what kind of products they value the most in their cultures, and what to bring it closer to them. It needs a different approach for each cultures. So yes, companies must balance whether to combine, when is to combine global markets and their local or cultures tradition to impacting how to sell their products. So that's it from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for listening.